All right, everybody, welcome back to Dynasty Dweebs. Back with another video slash podcast for you this week. Today, it's just going to be Jim and I again. We're going to be covering round 3 primarily from the draft and a couple players from round 4, and that will wrap up our draft recaps for the NFL draft for 2020. And then we're going to start moving on to some more rankings videos, some free agents, all kinds of stuff. Plenty of content to be released. How you doing today?
Doing well.
All right. So let's just get right into it here. Pick number 66 for the Redskins, wide receiver Antonio Gibson out of Memphis.
We're getting to the point where I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge on these college guys. I think
right
with what the Redskins have offensively being the weaker side of the ball for them, I'm sure this guy's going to find reps and a decent amount of targets throughout the year still. We'll see what their running backs end up doing, whether Geis can stay healthy for a season or a game. I think this guy will be able to find a way.
We don't know if this is the guy that we didn't know if he's going to play wide receiver, running back, right?
I believe so.
Because he's listed as both. So
yeah,
this is your Tavon Austin-esque kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, you're right. This is going to be a lot of players that we're going to name here that are going to be that will go
fringe
more in
guys.
depth. Like this video is just going to be like a basic cover on them, and then later on we have plenty of time to go into certain players in depth. But right now we're just doing a basic cover on how they fit into their teams.
I think a lot of these guys are end up being more fringe players that'll, if they impress, will have opportunities. If not, they might be on the bench a lot of their rookie year and improve through practice and show something and become better players the next following year.
I mean, the Redskins did take another wide receiver out of Liberty too, so Terry is the guy to have.
Yeah,
getting these guys
Terry
will still help them. All right, pick number 76 for the Buccaneers, Keyshawn Vaughn from Vanderbilt, running back. I think Ronald Jones will be the guy, and it's hard to say this guy's dynasty. I look down the road because I don't think like Tom Brady's only going to be there for 2 years probably. So
yeah, I wouldn't imagine. I think Brady's probably done after Tampa Bay. Maybe a 1 year back in New England to end it or something. I doubt that though.
Who knows, man? I mean, I think this is the Rojo show. Ronald Jones, man. I think it's Ronald Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bruce Arians has faith in him. The organization's had enough faith in him. They're getting the reps, and I think this is going to be his breakout year.
Yeah, he's got the offense around him to explode.
Why not him? All right, pick number 80. We had Lynn Boyd Jr., wide receiver for the Raiders out of Kentucky. So how does this affect Henry Ruggs? Because they took another wide receiver too.
Right after, yeah. I don't necessarily think it impacts Ruggs. I think he's going to be the best option still. I think these guys are just depth pieces.
But why did they have so many receivers?
Why do the Bears have 10 tight ends?
I don't know. Like, I get it. They're probably going to cut some people. Like, I don't think Zay Jones is going to be on the team after this.
It's a Bills Mafia legend. I think
Hunter Henry is going to stay, though.
Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah.
I think he'll still remain as the best receiver. Ruggs will fill in that too.
But Tyrell Williams.
Nah.
He's good last year.
I think Renfrow is going to break out. I think Ruggs will be a nice deep threat speedster. Okay. And then you have Darren Waller probably getting a bulk of the receptions.
I mean, this offense.
I think he's going to lead the team in receptions.
Waller?
Darren Waller. I think Ruggs is going to be I don't want to say same role as Marquise Brown, but they have very similar kind of qualities.
Right.
But I think Ruggs might have a better season than Marquise Brown did in his rookie year, mainly because I think the Raiders are going to be passing the ball more often.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, Lamar kind of hogs the ball.
He does, but I mean, he obviously had this still the huge difference between year 1, year 2, just as a passer. So,
right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about like a difference between Lynn Boyd Jr. and Brian Edwards. There's probably not going to be much of a difference to any of you listening to this because they're drafted right next to each other. So, I mean, most of these players are just speculation and opinion based on when you're going to take them, whoever you're comfortable with, and just based around the depth around the team. But I wouldn't really touch either of these guys, honestly, because
yeah, it's hard to imagine. I think you're going to find them in your waivers. And if one of them ends up having a breakout game or a really good preseason game before that, somebody might snag them on a flyer and see if they can keep being productive.
yeah, like in like these later rounds, I think mostly people aren't going to be holding these wide receivers, but more likely the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, everyone's going to have their diamond in the rough play, but like you're not going to be chasing after like these guys, especially players like Antonio Gibson on the not so good Redskins team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to a more exciting player. Zach Moss, pick number 86, Buffalo Bills from Utah. So Singletary's value is kind of killed here a lot. I was super high on Singletary last year. I always thought Frank Gore should not even be involved. I thought Singletary could handle it. This Singletary had tons of touchdowns when he played college, but they're not too selling him, I guess, and they want a power back there.
I think we're seeing the transition of workhorse backs kind of fall here to more committee focused, which sucks for fantasy, but you're still going to have teams that have primarily one running back that holds the fort down. You're going to see it still this year with players like Dalvin Cook and Zeke still. I mean, you have Pollard behind him, but is he really a threat to Zeke or someone like that?
No. For some reason, I just see Zach Moss being the guy and Singletary being the third down explosive guy.
I mean, somebody's going to have to fall to the wayside. It's just how it is.
And I see Zach Moss being the inside the 5, too.
So just burst
over
through.
Singletary. So if you have Singletary, I'm just holding him at this point because I don't think you're going to get much value right now.
I think you have to wait and see at this point what you want to do with players. Right after the draft, I think is a bad time to try and sell a player, especially if someone got drafted in their position.
Well, we talked about selling Drew Lock. I mean, because that's kind of like it's kind of a good sell right now if you don't believe in him.
It's different for a quarterback, but I mean, if you have
also Sutton.
Singletary, his value is definitely shooting downward. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna be bad.
No, exactly. It's just speculation of your opinion, and it could pay off. And like, if he's bad this season, you're not going to get a good trade then, as we would maybe now. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I don't know. Singletary could end up still being the guy, and Zach Moss could just be a backup. I mean, it's probably just going to go down to how they play. That's all.
It's two young guys going to be competing. Yeah. So I mean, I think it should be interesting. I can see either one being a fine running back.
I kind of respect the pick from the Bills because, I mean, Singletary's not really a proven top back in the NFL yet. You want some competition back there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not so exciting pick. Pick number 91, Devin Isaiah, tight end for the Patriots, UCLA.
Just everything the Patriots did this draft just doesn't excite me.
They did I guess it was in later rounds that they picked up Stedham, slot receiver from Auburn, that he played with him. So
they also got a kicker.
Anything. Doesn't matter. I mean, Andrew Luck and Cole Beasley went to college together, and that didn't pan out.
Yeah, I think college to NFL is a whole different ballgame for everyone.
Different. I mean, you can have a good rapport with a guy, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much to say about him. I don't think he's going to be of any value to you, especially with Stidham at quarterback. There's no reason for you to take this guy. There's going to be way other tight ends available, and this is a reach for a tight end spot.
There's better tight ends ahead of him that were drafted, like Cole Kmet.
Exactly.
So,
and I think Cole Kmet will be used a lot more than
he should. I mean, I don't know. He's 9 other guys to compete with. It's pretty tough.
I mean, most depth charts are like that around this time. I feel like they just have to make cuts and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It's got to weigh their options out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pick number 92 for the Ravens. This is a good pick with Devin Duvernay, wide receiver from Texas.
Hook 'em horns.
The Ravens obviously need some help with Hollywood Brown out. They still had Willie Snead, Miles Boykin, but they're not really stepping up. I like Willie Snead as a third down guy, and I love Mark Andrews at tight end. But now that Mark Andrews is kind of injury prone, and we traded away Hayden Hurst, it's definitely good to draft some offense.
I think it was a necessary pick, but at the same time, you could hope that the young guys that are rookies last year, being Boykin and Marquise Brown, will have that rise from their first to the second year. So, I think it's actually going to be pretty hard to fight for a spot for him if Hollywood Brown, who's definitely the guy that they're trying to have pan out the most, but Boykin was a serviceable receiver last year. It's just he had a limited role with Willie Snead still there. And I love Willie Snead he's a guy who just gets the job done, does whatever he's asked to do, no questions asked. He'll be a pass blocker. He'll do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll see Miles Boykin take a jump before Duvernay does. But I think he's also just a guy they can try and have develop to be a nice piece for Lamar.
Yep. I agree. He'll
have his share.
He's someone to think about. I like him more than picking one of the 2 Raiders guys just because there's not as much competition. And I like Lamar a lot more than Derek Carr.
So I just think he'll have a similar role to what Boykin technically was last year.
Right.
And Boykin will be the number 3 receiver technically, or possibly even the number 2 if he kind of edges himself over Willie Snead.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrews is the number 1 target. I mean, they obviously
100%.
Lamar's shown that he's more likely to pass the tight end. So maybe even Nick Boyle ends up emerging.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood was injured a lot last year too. Like he was never.
He
played
problems.
a lot of games, but he wasn't never 100%. So I think this is like Hollywood's stock price is going to be really good this year.
For sure.
And then we'll see. We'll find out who the number 2 receiver is on the team outside of Mark Andrews being a tight end. All right, I really like this pick by the Titans, considering you're going to be running the ball a crap ton with Derrick Henry, and he's obviously going to need some relief if he's going to be your back for the next couple of years. So pick number 93, Darrington Evans, running back for the Titans, Appalachian State. Obviously, with Dion Lewis being not too much, you need some guy that's going to replace Derrick Henry long term. And if he gets hurt, he's a huge power back. It's bound to happen. He's going to get tired. Why not get someone in there?
I can't imagine he's going to be used much as a rookie. I think they're going to end up working Henry to the ground, but it's going to be over the course of the next couple of years before we really see a transition, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good dynasty pick. I just thought it was a good pick for depth for the Titans.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I still see Henry being a really dominant workhorse and 25 probably rushes a game, give or take.
So, but really though, he is a good handcuff, this guy.
For sure. I mean, if he gets injured, which we're not wishing for at all, but
no, you always got to think about it though. Like,
yeah, it's just somebody to hold on to and have in the back of your mind. If a team wants to rush that many times, you're more susceptible to getting hurt and having the body beaten up before you get into the latter parts of the seasons. And if they end up being a wild card team or even a divisional winner and sneak into the playoffs, and you're having guys that have already rushed well over, I don't know, close to 300 times, the body gets worn down.
Yep, all true. Pick number 94, Josiah DeGore, tight end for the Packers. It's about time they made a good pick.
He's going to be a great guy for Jordan Love, right?
At least, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a great pairing with Jordan Love, I imagine. So
I don't even know why we're talking about these tight ends, really. There's nothing to say about this Packers guy. 101, Dalton Keene, tight end for the Patriots.
Another tight end.
Another tight end for the Patriots.
I mean,
they're trying to find the next Gronk.
It just seems like a couple teams didn't really draft really well, and the Packers and the Patriots really just seem to be at the top of that list.
There's nothing wrong taking a tight end. It's just
there's not. It's just they
were supposed to draft a quarterback.
You're right, but the tank for Trevor Lawrence is what everyone's expecting now. But
apparently the Eagles need Jalen Hurts more than the Patriots. So, and then we have another tight end at 105, Adam Troutman for the Saints, out of Dayton.
This guy was a little bit higher, I think, on Mel Kiper's list of tight ends. So I think the Saints did make a really good selection here, drafting one of the better tight ends out of a weak class.
Right. And they do need one. Jared Cook is an old guy. He's a good tight end, but he's old. So This is a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the Saints are going to do now that it's being reported that Jameis is going to be signing for the 1-year deal.
They have Jameis. They gave Taysom the deal, and they drafted a quarterback. So I think after Drew retires, they have just duke it out, man. Best one gets to start.
I just don't know when we're going to see Breeze retire. I think.
Well, if he wins the Super Bowl, he's retiring. So
that's for sure.
And I think even if he makes it, he's retiring.
Yeah, I think he was really debating it this year, but he really wants to go for that second. And it's not like they're far away.
Yeah.
They're close. I mean, they have the pieces. Michael Thomas is
that's why
undoubtedly a top 3 receiver in football.
That's why it's not hard for them, I feel like, to worry about a quarterback, because they have so many good pieces around the team that it's not going to be hard to play. That's pretty much it for me for the third round. Do you have anything to add before we move on to some little more interesting guys in the fourth that I have down?
I think that's basically it.
Yeah, this is going to be probably a little bit shorter than the other videos, just because I don't have much to say about the 6 tight ends that are on this list. There was a lot of defense drafted in the third and the fourth. Mostly the third.
A bunch more tight ends too in the fourth.
It's tight end
some tight ends. Yeah.
I don't know. There's tight ends every year, so. All right.
You don't really see a lot of tight ends break out though early on.
Not their first year, no.
No, they normally are guys that really develop later into their careers to become better.
Yeah, so you kind of just got to take a flyer, man. All right, so really interesting pick we had was 112, Joshua Kelly from UCLA, running back for the Chargers now. Crap. What's Austin Eckler's backup's name?
They had.
I know
what is his name? They have. I'm looking it up.
Justin Jackson.
Yep.
Justin Jackson. Yeah, so I think that guy. I think Justin Jackson's value is way down with this guy coming in. Because he never really proved anything for the Chargers. So
Hmm.
I think Eckler is a good rusher and a good pass catcher. So I think he's gonna be both. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't see him as a power back, but he can handle the load as a workhorse. Trust me, he definitely can. It all depends on how he fits in the system with their new quarterback, whoever that's going to be. But Joshua Kelly could steal some reps here and there.
I think for the most part, he'll actually end up remaining as a third string running back for his rookie year, getting most of his reps on special teams.
Yep.
But it's one for the future. Who knows what they're going to end up doing with Eckler? And I imagine, when is his contract up? Or did they already pay him?
They already paid Eckler.
They
I
paid
don't know how
Eckler.
many
Okay.
years it was.
A 4-year deal, 24.5 million.
And I imagine him being good for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
He's so
they're
dynamic,
probably,
it's insane.
yeah, I think Eckler's probably going to remain the guy there for the foreseeable future. But
Yeah,
after that, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's hard to predict 4 years into the future what a guy's trajectory is going to be as a running back.
yeah, honestly, I don't even care like that they took Josh Kelly because they can give him reps. I just like Eckler's just so lethal on third down; it doesn't even matter. Like
Hmm.
he'll get like back-to-back 30-yard receptions and a touchdown.
Hmm. Eckler's a great little running back. Does it all.
All right, this is kind of my diamond pick here because I think this is the way things are going. 120, Lamico Perrin, running back
Brian
for the
Perrine, probably Perrine. Yeah,
running back
Perrine.
for the Jets from Florida.
Hmm.
Okay, I think this is a guy to stash.
Yeah,
Not
for
saying
sure.
they won't draft they couldn't draft another running back next year or something, but this guy, hopefully Le'Veon Bell is going to teach this guy how to be Le'Veon Bell, good Le'Veon Bell, and I think that Le'Veon Bell's getting kind of old, and maybe that's what we saw last year. I mean, it could have been just fitting in with the team, but I think that this guy is a good stash, and you'll be able to get him at a decent price for your rookie draft.
I think he'll be at the very tail end of a draft if you're getting him in your rookie draft, or he's going to be on the waivers. But players that are willing to stash him on their roster will probably end up benefiting. I think
I agree.
the Jets could end up dealing Le'Veon depending on what he does this next year, and Adam Gase doesn't seem to be a huge fan of him. With some of their end of year interviews, I remember a reporter asking like if they were going to keep Le'Veon and kind of like have him on the team, and Gase was just really passive aggressive towards it, and
No, yeah, for sure.
it didn't seem like he was really fond of Le'Veon Bell in his whole season. So
No, they
this
definitely had
guy,
like some beef.
Perrine, is not a speedster by any means, but it looks like he could become a guy that will get some reps, be the backup for the Jets, and possibly take over Le'Veon Bell in the coming years.
Right. So yeah, just a
I wouldn't.
reminder to everyone that like we'll get more in depth on the certain positions once we re-rank all the positions. Like there will be way more in depth analysis for guys like this guy and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll highlight their attributes, their faults, everything. But this is kind of just an overview. So this pick, 122, Jacob Eason, quarterback from Washington to the Colts. This is a huge pick, and this is a guy that you need to draft in your rookie draft, I think. I like him. You're going to take this guy over Jordan Love, I hope.
I think,
like in 2 years, this is going to be the guy. It's not going to be Brissett. It's going to be Jacob Eason.
well, I think Jordan Love is a lot better. They both have good veteran quarterbacks to learn from and just be mentored by.
Who's actually going to teach him, though? Is Aaron Rodgers going to teach this guy? Phil Rivers he's a good dude.
He is.
You know, he's a good
Christian
guy.
man. I think Eason will make more of not an immediate impact. I think it's obviously going to be a year because they're going to keep Rivers as this guy unless he really shits the bed again.
Yeah.
And starts throwing picks all over the place. But Jordan Love is definitely going to be somebody you have to hold on to for a lot longer to see what he can do. Now, maybe him waiting like 4 years to get going for Love is going to be detrimental to him. I think you have to be a certain kind of player and a guy to be able to understand your role is going to be to sit back for the first couple of years of your career until you actually get on the field and really show what you can do.
I just see Eason coming out in like 2 years. I just feel like that would be my pick, like that he would come out in 2 years and start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good he'll be, but like I think he's worth a pick on your board. Like he should not be undrafted 100%. He should be on a team, and I think he should be taken at a decent value. And people will take him higher, way higher than certain people would.
We shall see. It's fun that you have to wait years to really see how things pan out with these guys, but the whole world of Dynasty. You really got to start thinking like a GM would.
Yeah. All right, I only have 2 players left on my board. 124, Anthony McFarland out of Maryland to the Steelers. He's a running back. I thought this was interesting because I know that James Conner is on his last year of his deal, and they're going to be done with him after this because he cannot stay healthy, even though Pittsburgh loves James Conner just because everything he's overcome and everything. But I really like Benny Snell. Benny Snell has proven to be a good running back, especially in a trash offense last year. And I guess they're just going to make it a competition for who's going to be that starter, or they'll just split time. And from what I've watched for Anthony McFarland, he's a super explosive dude. And I mean, Benny Snell is just as good, but I want it to be Benny Snell, is what I'm saying. I want Benny Snell to be the guy.
I'm still a big fan of James Conner when he's healthy. I mean, he can be an RB1 when he's healthy. He's shown to be just a tank of a running back, hard to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
This guy will be the third option in that offense, most likely. And could he be the guy after year 2? I don't see why it wouldn't be a committee if they're to get rid of Bell. I mean, to get rid of Connor and leave it up to Snell and McFarland. Because I really do think a lot of these teams are leaning more towards letting 2 to 3 running backs share the load and not just leave it to one guy.
Yeah, it's looking like that. I don't know. I mean,
it's just kind of game by game.
You still have Jalen Samuels too.
Mm-hmm. You just got to take it game by game with all these teams. I think that it's whoever starts really getting it going, breaks off one nice run, they leave them in, and they end up getting 70% of the reps that game. They get towards the 20 carries while the other guys might only get 6 or 7.
Right.
And that can vary game to game. So this guy could end up having a breakout game during his rookie year. You never really know.
Yeah, and it all depends how deep your league is too, for like how effective like second string, third string running backs are anyways. So I don't know. If you're a big Maryland guy, go ahead and take him if you like him.
It's a bold one.
Yeah, it's not like he's gonna be high on the running back rookie draft.
No, he's gonna go undrafted.
So.
More than likely.
I feel like someone in ours will take him just because Maryland.
We'll see. That's fair.
All right, this is my last one I had down for us to talk about. If you have anything else you can add. 125, James Morgan, QB for the Jets, Florida International. I guess it's a good pick because they're not really sure that Sam Darnold's going to be the guy yet, for sure, because he hasn't shown anything amazing. He's decent, but for the amount of time he's played,
hasn't had a team to really help him out either.
But he did get hurt, so he didn't get hurt. He got sick, but you still need a guy that it'd be nice to have a guy like a rookie instead of a vet, because they're not really a winning team. So why not get a rookie some experience and just put a vet in there? It's going to lose the game anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have a lot of faith in. I have a lot of faith in Darnold still. So this guy would be off my board.
I think this
Dynasty.
guy isn't really going to be a threat to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I don't think
And
so.
James Morgan is probably going to be a guy who, in my opinion, is going to be a career backup looking guy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just really nothing special playing at a pretty small school in FIU.
Yeah, I see him pretty much just being it's gonna be Sam Darnold's job for the next couple of years, and this guy might get traded down the road or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be all it is. Anything you'd add? Thoughts?
Couple tight ends that got drafted.
No, I saw those. I was scrolling through. I was like, oh, there's more tight ends.
Maybe another possible one is with the Seahawks drafting DJ Dallas. Seahawks had a couple. Basically, all their running backs were getting injured at the end of last season with Penny, Carson.
Yeah. I just left him out because I thought that Carson has he lists as a year or two to go, and I thought Penny could still be the next guy up. If he freaking dropped some pounds off his fat ass that he looked like he was gaining, I'm sure you saw that, right? I mean, that dude got kind of fat. I'm not wrong, am I? Like, that dude did gain weight, didn't he?
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely Carson's job. Penny's a really solid backup. But
right.
I think this guy, Pete Carroll, knows how to get the best out of his players. He's a developmental guy down the line. We'll see. He's similar to Carson in the fact that he has some problem holding on to the football. So
yeah, that is something to fix. But yeah, he got a little. He gained a little bit of weight. I don't know. He's still a good running back. I'm not talking shit on you, Rashad. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I think not too much, not too many crazy things in here. Round 3 and 4, just a lot of speculation on running backs getting devalued, a couple extra receivers being added. Next week, we're looking to do probably some rankings for the rookies. Haven't decided if we're going to do like a separate, rookies to players already in the league rankings. I would like to have us just have a rookie ranking,
Mm-hmm.
Probably do. And then I want to do a diamond in a rough video where me, Jim, and Zach will pick like 2 guys that we could see
having a breakout year.
Rookies of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So tons of content coming your way. Keep watching, like, and subscribe. Peace.
See ya.